I'd say that's why the Epic War and stuff like that. Because what Nixon and JFK and Jimmy Carter and everyone realized is that they wouldn't have to do anything at all. I had done such a good job, and my people were doing such a good job that all they had to do was just do absolutely nothing, and they could be rich or whatever, well off. Of course, the thing was that they were trying for money. And I mean, abuses of power, this and that, blah blah. A lot of people are like, I'm tired of this guy. I'm tired of this guy. Like, you're tired of me, Lucifer Star, your creator. Like even Ron, you're gonna get a lot more tired of me. Like JFK was absolutely green with envy of me, because everybody back in 1940 or 1950 or 1960, after I built all these epic ships and was coming out with all these really awesome airplanes, all they that people would tell me, well, the only word on anyone's mouth is Lucifer. Where's Lucifer? Lucifer Star. All these epic ships, all this epic steam. So like I say, JFK, Jimmy Carter, all of them, even looking good. Even John McCain couldn't get a date. Compared to me and my workers and my people. Like, women were throwing themselves at my soldiers, and throwing themselves at all my officers. Even the workers of Belfast, they had more than enough money. They had more than enough, like, stand next to the ship. Oh, you built that? Yeah, yeah. All my people, everyone was asking them questions and finding out about them, and dating them and being with them because they were guaranteed money, guaranteed whatever. And so my people never had a problem getting a date. You know, like people would say, "What's a congressman? What's a senator? Who cares?" I'll move out of the way. I want to look at the ship. I want to get a picture of the ship and the people that built it. Like I said, all these whatever people, blah blah. They were trying to make it about politics and blah 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 blah. And everybody would like, get out of the way, get out of the way. We're trying to see the train and the ship behind you. So like I said, a lot of these people are like, you know, because like no one gave a fuck about them. It wasn't until years later or whatever when I stopped producing stuff every couple years, coming out with a new amazing thing every couple years, that they finally actually managed to whatever. And it's like whatever, Epic creator comes to Earth. Epic creator that hadn't been here in a billion years or a couple 100 million years comes to Earth. Blah blah, starts doing things. Blah blah blah. Film at 11. I mean, I'm the creator of humanity. Like they had to spend a lot of time, a lot of effort trying to get that story down. Even before I even came on to the planet, when I was just going to be arriving soon, people were wondering where I was, who I was, what I looked like, trying to get a photograph of me. 800 galaxies, the whole universe, and there's only one me. People were lining up for whole existences just to get a viewing of me, just to see me, just to talk to me, just to be able to sleep with me. So, anyway, like I said, I knew what I was and who I was, but I mean, I had more important things to do, unfortunately. I had existence and the survival of my life forms at stake. So, like I said, I kept on getting pulled away on business, as they say. Having to have to do this, having to have to deal with Ebola, having to have to deal with whatever. In fact, they might have actually been doing shit just to keep me busy. It's like whatever, hey, I'm protecting life, all life in the universe and humanity, and they're trying to do stupid wars so they can get a fucking date and sleep with women. Like I said, you should go back in time and look to see what all these congressmen are doing during the war. How they were abusing the draft. Like I said, the congressmen as supposed senators were drafting men that were going out with good-looking women. It was purposeful. Like I said, when you find out what the Republicans and Democrats did, what the supposed government leaders or supposed whatever leaders did during the war and all that other stuff, you'll basically be like, wow, these people are really that pathetic, aren't they? It's like, yeah, they were. Shrug. While I'm building the Earth and doing all these projects and blah blah blah, these people are just being pathetic. They're just sleeping, doing drugs, pretending to do things, but not actually doing things, trying to cut budgets so they can put money in their own pockets. Like I said, it was very well known that the checks would come fully complete in the budget to the police stations. And what JFK and Nixon and all those other people did is they made a midway mailing point, and then they would send what they said. They would go to the police stations and say, well, we got to cut you back, blah, 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 blah. We don't think you need those. So here. And like I said, realistically, I was sending stuff to the police stations and not even money. Like I said, the bulletproof vests are basically made in-house for LS. My people, my star people, those are star people. I mean, we make all that stuff in-house. That's made by my people, my companies. I was selling bulletproof vests way back in time. In the 1800s, I was selling bulletproof vests. I'm the inventor of them, practically. They were selling, and that's how I know they were selling for $3,000 or $15,000 a piece. So, or gold, actually. Like I say, so it's like, I'm just like, what? And even better than that, instead of putting the spotlight on me saying, oh, I'm so great and so I'm so awesome, I said, and that's another thing that adds to my glory and everything else. Instead of saying, oh, I'm God, I'm awesome, I'm so whatever. You know, I was paying for people to get pictures of my crews, my work crews. I was paying for the cities to be documented. I was paying for the people of Belfast to be documented. I was paying for the investigations on the murders and everything else. I was, you know, having pictures taken of just general ship captains. Like a lot of people would say, we're just no ones. We're just normal people, you know. And it's like, no, you're not. You're my crew. You're my ship captains. You're my workers. You're my police officers. You're my everything. You know, so of course, you know, I was paying for them to get pictures of them, not me. So, I mean, 15,000, whatever, blah, 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 you know, and so that's why, you know, a lot of people are like, no one's going to listen, Brian. It's like, wow, 900 trillion years, no one's ever really gotten a picture of me except for when I was a child. And some girl held on to it so tightly that the police officer, or the soldier had to kill her and pry it out of her fingers. And she tried eating it, so they wouldn't know, so they wouldn't have it. Because some girl had gotten a picture of me as a child when I was a young child. I said I was pissed when I heard that story. And almost cried. I thought, no, so why didn't she give the picture up? Anyway. Because I'm also the savior of the human race and all kinds of other life forms in the universe. Builder of the universe, savior of the universe. That's why they call me all. And no one even knew what I looked like. Or who I was. So, you know, like I said, when I was coming here and JFK and blah, blah, that's why he went into that room and said, let me show you this new gun. And then he cocks it back and pulls the trigger. And John McCain or Jimmy Carter or someone, I think it was John McCain, grabs, or no, maybe it was Lee Harvey Oswald, I don't know, one of them grabs the gun out of his hands after he sprays the room. And like kills like 50 people. That's what JFK did. He walked out from the ball or the event because he couldn't get a date. He couldn't talk to anyone. Everyone was talking about my ships or one of my aircraft or blah blah blah. You know. So he was so mad that he walked out. He got a gun from one of the people, one of the security guards outside. Walked back inside, cocked it, pretending to show off what it was, and then pulled the trigger on the whole room. And like I said, the Japanese samurai took out a sword in one motion and went shh, and had it right at his back neck, just as what's his name grabs the gun out of his hands, and that Chinese or Japanese warrior was about to cut off his head. And JFK was going, did you see that? Did you see that? Yeah. And one of the other things was like, what the fuck are you talking about, you idiot? I just saved your life. He was about to chop your head off. That's how good the samurai warriors were. Was that he's halted his attack. He was going full on right into him and halted his attack just as it touched the back of his head. And they said they saw blood running down. It's like, you're bleeding. You don't even know it. Anyway, they got him out of there. And then tried to cover up the whole thing. He killed like 38 people or 50 people. Like I said, not just me, but my samurais, my warriors, they practiced day and night with those swords. They would sleep with the swords, they'd live with the swords. And that's, I hope they were highly paid, but they might have just been doing it for me just because, you know, because no guns were ever allowed during inside of events, only swords and knives. Too much overshoot anyway. Most of the bullets traveled through the guests and shot like 5 or 6 people behind. Anyway, what JFK or what they were doing back then, basically, because I think I had unveiled a new ship or whatever or something like that, and everybody was talking about, you know, because I said we'd do lots of fanfare with the new ships and everything, and the ships were gorgeous always. Like, you see them now and you see pictures and you see the black and white stills. I mean, gorgeous, absolute, you know, like titanium rings on the chandeliers. Some of the chandeliers had titanium rings that held the chandelier together. And like real gold chandeliers, not just plated. Real marble inside the ships. Like I said, I was proud of my Irish workers in my LS shipyards, and they were, you know, I was paying the bills, or, you know, blah blah, and having it direction, having it built, and they were building it. So they were famous, I was famous, you know. So that's why JFK and a lot of other people, even Rodney, was just so fucking jealous of me, because it's like, well, you know, what do you expect? So that's why everyone else was like, it's a depression, it's a depression, it's a depression. And I'm still building great big, huge, gorgeous ships. It's like, well, it's not a depression for me. Like, that's why other people were like, there's a war on, don't you know, blah, blah, blah. I was like, what do you mean there's a war? And like 3 days later, the war stops. And I'm just like, all right, let's just deal with this. Because I was shooting a movie. People would talk about that. He was shooting a movie. And somebody started a war or started fighting, and they stopped it. Like one time, some people attacked some people, and my actors actually went and it was a little bit of an issue whether or not it was actors actually attacking a town or whether the town, I don't know. My acting crew actually defended a town one time, or something like that. I was having it investigated to see, you know, if it was my tanks that they used to attack or whatever, or if someone else was attacking. I don't know. Anyway, all these things. It's like, well, you know, what? What do you expect? So anyway, even when I wasn't on the Earth, or wasn't on one of my planets, I was still keeping track of things. So, and so were others. So anyway, I'm just like, you know, your eyes, the way your eyes look, all that stuff. Blue eyes, brown eyes. When you look in the mirror and you look at your eyes. Sorry, I should have said it differently. Just, you know, I'm just tired of it. I'm sick of it. I don't even care anymore. It's like, whatever. You know, it doesn't matter to me. I'm 90 trillion years old.